joining us today. I'm Penny Myler, the acting PTA president, so thank you all for joining us. What we'll do, since first order of business would be to elect officers for this current school year. We weren't able to host elections last May due to COVID and low participation in our last meeting. So I wanted to, if I can share my screen here, I can tell you the nominated committee board nominees. So let me just find where I am here on my screen. So I should be sharing the agenda. Can you confirm that you see it? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of scroll down to the bottom and introduce myself again as acting president. We have Amanda Andriotta as vice president nomination. Tiffany Lawrence is currently acting secretary going for re-election, and Megan Fess is our current treasurer. So there is a non-elected position for membership chair, so we don't have to worry about that today, but it's just electing president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. So I'm not exactly sure how these elections go. Do I just say our names and all in favor or vote? So as nominated for president would be, is there a voting button? I don't even know. How do you raise a button to vote? Do you raise your hand so that we can see your hand? I think that will work.
Yeah, Penny. So if somebody nominates and then a second, right, approves,
okay,
then we can say all in favor, and we can all hold up our hand, or we can yell and say, no, I don't like this, I guess. So I think that will work for everything.
So we need a motion to.
Yeah.
So we have a motion to vote as president for Penny Myler. Do I do the motion for myself? Do we have a second? I don't think I can do that, right?
I think you could do a motion, have somebody motion for all
Okay.
four.
I nominate Penny for president.
Second.
All in favor? It looks unanimous to me.
Okay, because I can't see hands. All right, thanks.
I think you could do a motion for all four.
Okay.
So I would like to nominate Amanda for vice president, and Tiffany for secretary, and Megan Fess for treasurer. Can I have a
Teresa
second?
Niesel will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's approved.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Just nominated. Thank you all for who joined us. Megan, do we need to go over, and I know you have low bandwidth, Megan Fess. Do you want to review the treasurer's report and have that voted on, or while we have folks and then they can jump off if they don't want to stay
As
on?
long as we have votes on that, or people on, that'd be great. My bandwidth any better?
Not really. You're kind of choppy. Do you want me to pull up the proposed budget?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I had it as of what you had sent before, but I don't know if it was as updated. Are you there, Megan?
Here.
So Megan has this as proposed. I don't know if you can hear her or not, but due to COVID, we have a lot of kind of ifs and question marks. So what we propose our budget to be as far as incoming income would be just over $2,500, so $2,550. And we had a meeting with Mrs. Bello earlier to kind of review our expenditures, and what was here for an $800 science fair, I think we have removed because that will be virtual and that we may not need the full $800. So Megan, can you see the screen here, Megan Fess, to review the treasury budget, or else maybe we will table this and then just move on? Can you?
I do not see that, so I think my screen has frozen, but I do have a paper copy in my hand, so I can go over questions if anybody is sincerely upset about a number that we have on something.
So I'll move up top. So what we were proposing in these grade level 3, 4, and 5 was in the past we had lump sum dollars to help for grade level field trips. So what we're hoping to do in this academic year, because there probably aren't going to be many off-campus field trips, that we would propose to reimbursements to teachers, which would be in the amount of $50 each, which is where we were able to budget a total of $400 per grade level, which we're used to paying to offset the costs of field trips. So that is our thought in the $400 for each grade level, there for a total of $1,200. And then Fall Festival, we will be looking at having not our traditional fall festival because we can't all get together. So we're proposing this would be the startup costs for paint night that we're going to host later in October. But these here are the other, 5th grade picnic is usually allotted at $1,000. So that depending on what things are in May, June, we may not need that dollar amount either. But if anybody has questions, as Megan had said, you know, she's available to answer them.
And I don't see any questions in the chat function either, so I think we might be all set.
So is there a motion to approve the budget as listed for 2020, 2021?
I will make a motion to approve the budget as is.
I second that.
Okay, do we have a vote to approve the budget? Everybody in favor or?
Aye.
I can
Aye.
only see 4 people at a time, so.
Aye.
Looks great.
Okay, current budget approved as listed with the notion that as things happen in a COVID weird year, you know, we will make adjustments as needed. Okay, so I'll go back to the agenda here. Or actually, Megan, do you want to go over the treasurer's report at all?
Yes. So we did the audit in mid-August. We ended the year in our checking account with $2,806.53. Then we had some checks go through. So right now our available balance is $2,464.20. Cash box is still $50. Savings account is $1,244.88. Interest will not go in until September 30th. So right now we have a total balance of $3,705.08. I requested a check from Rich Nickelback on Saturday when I dropped off bottles, so hopefully that should be coming in the mail. And then Square One Art should be getting us a check at some point in time. So and that's what we've got so far.
Thanks, Megan. All right, so I will minimize that and this. And then I know that Mrs. Bello, I think, wanted to start with a Q&A. So I don't know if anybody has any questions specific to Mrs. Bello for any new parents that are out there. I still can't tell. I think there's 15. So I don't know who's new to LP or who's been around, but if there are, you know, any questions, Mrs. Bello is going to give her, you know, welcome kickoff to the school year and let us know how that went, and then any questions she can answer.
Yeah, perfect. Actually, Penny, if you want to stop share, we'd be able to see everybody.
Okay.
And that would make it perfect. So I just wanted to say hello and thank you all for coming. We did have 16 members at one point, so we're going to consider that a really good start and then hopefully go from there. Just very quickly, I think the beginning of the year has gone as well as can be expected. I don't really think any of us knew what was going to happen as soon as we opened those doors, and our children's and staff safety was of utmost concern. So we have spent a considerable amount of time as a staff just really making sure we have those protocols and logistics in place to do just that. So I'm really proud of everybody. The kids are acclimating fairly well to having to wear those masks and to socially distant, and even our remote kids, we're really trying to find ways to keep them connected to the school. I think I know that I've gone in almost all of the remote rooms at this point and done an activity, and that's one of the resonating messages from the kids, is that it's just really weird to be home, and they want to be at school and they understand that they can't. So that'll be a big focus for us this year. And my dog's gonna bark here, of course, because I'm home and that happens, so I apologize. I just wanted to thank the PTA formally for providing treats and snacks and drinks to the staff at the beginning of the school year. That was huge. Food always is good for the soul, so you can't ever go wrong if you want to feed us. So thank you so much for putting that together. So with that, I can open it up to just general questions. You can unmute yourself and ask the question, or if you'd rather, you can type in the chat function and I can read it from there too. So we can keep this super informal. So if there's any questions out there, feel free. I'll give it just a second because I know more people are trying to get in too, so that's good. Okay, well, I'm not surprised because I do feel like we've communicated so much. So hopefully that's a good thing that there are no questions, but always, feel free to reach out by email, by phone, to myself and to the staff. We're more than willing to help and support you guys.
Okay, next up, Tiffany, do we want to review? I can pull up May 2019's minutes if everybody wants to take a look. Again, it was, a small meeting and we weren't really sure how the school year was going to be ending. So I can pull up the May 2019, no, May 2020. I'm sorry, I'm speaking like May 2020 minutes, and then we can kind of review for acceptance of those minutes. So I can share my screen again. Here. So I'll share my screen there, and then I'll just it's a little bit, maybe I'll try and make them smaller just to kind of review at a glance.
It was so long ago.
It was.
I think mostly what we were talking about is like not knowing what was going to happen with this year. We talked a lot about the 5th grade moving up ceremony because we didn't get to do everything that we normally would have done for those 5th graders. We talked about the masks because the PTAs kind of banded together to do masks. And then we talked about board nominations. So that should all be in there.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as submitted by Tiffany in May?
A motion to approve. Do we have a second?
To second?
Okay. All in favor? Okay.
All right. So we will accept those minutes. And if I swing back over to the quick agenda that I had, Jess Krupa hasn't hopped on yet, right? She was going to be doing the board update.
Yeah,
So,
no, I haven't seen her name pop up.
Okay, so we'll hold off on Jess Krupa, but what we kind of wanted to talk about, what Mrs. Bello's been talking about throughout, the first few weeks of school, is that our idea of PTA is just a way to get everybody connected. So today is kind of a launch into the school year, but on the bottom of this agenda, I have a few bullet points just to kind of review, which would be the LP calendar that we have at a glance. So as you know, all in-person activities are now having to be rethought into like a virtual way. So we put our best brainstorming hats on and came up with, some events that we'd like to host between now and at least the new year, and then figure out what might happen in 2021. But one of our upcoming fundraising ideas, because if you're familiar with how LP rolls out the beginning of a school year, is we have our traditional kind of fall festival where it's attached with PTA membership, and we're all able to get together and enjoy food and games and music and things like that. So we weren't able to host that this fall. So our first idea for a fundraising event would be later in October with a virtual painting night where we would be able to put together kits that families would be able to buy, and then as having like a step-by-step demonstration video that would be available to help keep with the theme of something to do on the weekends, but then also supporting the school. So there are a couple others that Tiffany will be able to talk to us about our interest in Leo's Pies, the bakery out in East Rochester. But I just wanted to open up the quick at a glance calendar for what we have planned so far, and then all of this will be sent out or put on. Mrs. Bello is going to have an area on the LP website so that we'll have all of these updated, documents and things like that for everyone to kind of review. But if I can scroll down or up here.
We're not
Would be
seeing your
some-
screen yet.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No,
It
we're
says
still
my-
seeing the main notes.
Yeah, it says my screen sharing is.
You know what you have to do, Penny? It's
Zoom.
so annoying. You have to stop share
Okay.
and then go back to reshare and click the document you want. It's so annoying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So this should show kind of at a glance, which our first fundraiser, as I mentioned, for October 23rd. And then we're going to have our virtual literacy night, which will be the Friday that rounds out the book fair, is October 16th. So Miss Kay, Mrs. Miller, Mrs. Costello, myself have kind of put together some things that we're going to have actually a virtual week leading into the Friday, which would be a mystery readers, where Mr. Hiley will be coming on. It's a secret, Mr. Daniels, and I believe Mr. Shag. So those are things that we're hosting as our first virtual literacy night, which will be October 16th.
I can't see that guy.
But again, all of these events will, they're posted on the district website. So most of you know they didn't mail the regular calendar. So all of that stuff is, able to be edited as needed. So this information will be edited as needed as well. So that is the at a glance calendar. Tiffany, do you want to talk about the
Teachers,
fundraiser idea? Did you have some notes to share?
I just can't see that guys.
So I'll stop sharing for now.
Does that make it better without the sharing? Everybody can see that.
Is that better?
I can see them.
I cannot see.
I took off share screen, so you shouldn't see anything right now.
You should just see people.
Okay.
Okay, good. So Mrs. Bello had brought up the idea of a Leo's Bakery fundraiser last time. We got together, and so I called them, and they work with a fundraising outfit. They don't do it themselves. But I spoke to the guy today, and he would look for delivery like the Thursday before Thanksgiving, I think. We would be running it the first 2 weeks of October. And he could do a mix of like brochures or fully online. He could do like brochures and online, or he could do just online. And I wasn't sure, Mrs. Bella, what the thought was as far as like sending things home like that.
We
But then
can.
what's that?
We can. So as long as it's a transactional thing, right? So as long as it's not expected to come back to us. Is the brochure just like informational, or is it one of those like you actually like people are
Take the
signing up
orders.
and turning it in?
I think it'd be an order form.
Okay,
So
so we're gonna want to think digital then.
okay, that's fine. He said that was fine. He just thought
Okay.
sometimes it worked a little better for people to bring in the brochures to work, but people aren't going to work, so I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can do everything online and then give us some like social media sharing things. We would make between $5 and $6.50 a pie. The more that you sell, the more you make. They freeze everything and package it. So like if I order 42 pies, which is totally reasonable, they would put it all together and freeze it with my name on it. And then Penny, that you would have one, and whoever, you know, you'd have your own, they would package it all, then bring it and help us set it up in the cafeteria. And then we would just run it like a curbside pickup thing. Somebody would be outside, they would drive up, say my name is whatever, and we'd go in and get it. So he was really easy to talk to, and he sounds easy to work with. I don't know how much, I didn't know exactly how many kids we had, so I said I thought around 350 or 400. Is that
We
right?
have 315, 315.
315. I
Mhm.
lied to him.
It's
That's
okay.
fine. And
Close.
he said that they usually get around 25% participation. So, I don't know how much we think that would bring us, but it might be people might buy that stuff. It's up to you guys.
Is there a minimum that we have to sell?
Nope, no
That's
minimum.
great. Okay,
Yep.
good.
So it's just whatever we want, whatever we sell, and you just make a little less if you sell less. The
Yeah,
minimum-
so if you just do the quick math on that, it'd be about $400 that you'd bring in. If
With the minimum.
25%, yeah, if 25% participated at about
And sold one pie
$5.
each.
Yeah.
Who buys one pie? You have to have
I
choices,
know I
right?
don't. I mean,
We have
I
some
think it's
support
this
in the
way
chat.
because I eat well. That's
Make an
recorded too.
announcement.
Like, that's terrible. I just had that recorded. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't tell me how much they're gonna be. So that is the only thing. I think they're probably a little pricier than you would normally.
Yeah,
I-
my past experience is they're between $18 to $20.
I was gonna say
They're
20.
big
I was
pies,
gonna
though.
guess
They're
19.
not,
Yeah.
they're not like little, they're big pies, but I mean, you're definitely paying more than you would typically if you went to the grocery store.
So
But
is
it's
it,
not a grocery store pie.
No, it's not. Is it only pies that we would sell, or would we sell, like, I know they sell other stuff too. Is it just pies and they pick like apple and pumpkin and whatever, like the typical fall pies are, like, or do we have to
Is that-
decide something?
He said pies and then cheesecakes. Also,
Oh,
Smart.
yes, the cheesecakes. That's right.
but he
Okay.
did not. I see smiles.
So he has
People are
like
into
a
this idea.
selection. He has it all worked out. We don't have to decide. We just have to say we're in or we're not.
Correct. Yes.
I think at this point, I mean, what have we got to lose? We've never offered it before. It's something different. If we promote it with enough time that whoever was on dessert duty for perhaps family or just weekend get-togethers, not even really related to Thanksgiving, I think it's worth a shot to try for sure.
I see nodding. People are
I
nodding.
do too.
Yeah.
Ashley thinks it's a great idea. She even wrote it in the chat.
Yes, I saw that.
Function.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
support, Ashley.
Mhm.
Yeah, all right, so I'll contact him.
Teachers
It
love
would be-
pie, George.
It would turn around, like we'll have to turn it around really quick because he wants to start the first week of October. But I think because it will be all virtual, it'll be relatively simple. Like we would
Mhm.
put something in the
Yeah.
s'more, and we put things on
Yep.
the Facebook page and email out whoever our membership is.
And every
Yeah.
couple days I can blast something out on talking points.
It'd be awesome.
Just remind me, but I
Can the teachers
definitely,
also include it in their weekly newsletters or whatever? I know Miss Santos was great about always having something weekly that we knew what was going on. So
that would be
that might
great.
help too if we can get the teachers to include it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do it to central office. I mean, quite honestly, I could offer it to the entire district. So we could probably spread the word wide and far.
Yeah. Well, that is another thing that we had talked about, as a PTA in general, to bring the community into, helping our school too. So that wouldn't be a
Mhm.
bad idea, and see, how far we get with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it's all virtual, there's no reason why community members can't order and then do a pickup, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, that seems pretty easy, the part to have it all delivered in the cafeteria and just run out by name. Everything will already be packaged, and it's a quick, I helped distribute the masks that all the PTAs, and that was
Perfect.
easy to distribute. The cards came up, gave a name, and then we just, gave them their bag with their masks in it. So that did work nicely.
Penny, let us know if you need people to volunteer to like help with passing out or something.
Oh, okay.
We can stay after school or whenever you do it and take shifts or something like that. So you're not doing it the whole time you're alone.
We'll see what, Great, thank you.
Okay.
The only slight to moderate bummer about this will be if people don't pick up, we'll
Where
have
the
to
freezer
store
space,
them.
yeah.
And we've previously not been able to store them in the school. When we did that cookie dough fundraiser in like 2016, we had to keep it in people's fridges and freezers, just so we know.
Yeah.
We're gonna have, when people don't pick up, we'll have to, oh, look, there's somebody else doing that same fundraiser at Thanksgiving. Just so you know. Anyway, so we'll just have to be prepared to have our personal freezers stocked with other people's pies until we can manage pickups.
Okay.
As long as we can all keep some space. Because I don't think, Mrs. Bella, we're not allowed to use the school, right?
That's a great question. So I'm going to look into that tomorrow and see what the restrictions are. And I can get back to you guys on that.
The other idea we had for fundraising is like trivia and takeout nights, where we would look to local businesses like Chipotle or places like that, where we would offer those discounts or proceeds come back to us, and then maybe we would do some fun virtual night that the PTA, would host, whether it's a Kahoot quiz night or something like that. So if anybody has ideas or your favorite places to, give patronage to in, whatever fast food restaurant kind of places. I know Chipotle is one, and I don't know if there's a couple others that offer it, but that's what we'll be researching as well throughout the winter months, where we know that we won't be able to have the glow dance, which we've traditionally hosted in January. So we got to think of a different way to bring everybody together in the winter. So that was one of our other ideas. Oh, Applebee's does a pancake. Okay.
It's about the school lunch.
Say that one more time. Oh, they might have been talking to their family members.
The other thing that I don't know, for people who are not necessarily always involved in PTA, the things that we're raising money for, and now that we're not in school, really the thing that we're raising money for is to give teachers things that they need for their classroom at this point. That's our big push this year, is to support teachers with whatever supplies they aren't able to get for whatever reason, money related. That's what we're really looking to do, is to sell some stuff so that we can support the teachers heartily this year.
Which we really, really appreciate.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then the last thing is, we will have everything put together for our membership drive by October 1st. So we'll going virtual and speaking on how Leos would prefer to have, virtual payments and orders and things like that. We'll be doing the same thing. We have a member hub that's through the national PTA, so that those memberships will be able to be purchased online as well. So as we get the remaining details, we'll be able to get those out to the families and teachers that are able to help in the support of their, membership. Does anybody have any questions for us as PTA? Our next meeting is October 13th. So we look forward, we'll probably host again on Zoom. That's what seemed to be the most preferred platform as opposed to the Microsoft Teams that the schools are using, but certainly we're able to switch. Mrs. Bello has access to both, I think. So if we do find that there'd be better participation using a different format, then we'd be happy, to change in that way. And then the first Friday, I think it was the first Friday, or maybe it was the second, Mrs. Bell, what I'm planning to do also is to put together like a PTA newsletter that Mrs. Bella will be able to share. So just at a quick glance, I'm going to send this one to her if I am sharing this correctly. This will be what I'll send over for next month. So it kind of lists everything that we did, this past year, and then we'll have more of the membership information. And we're only from social media aspect, unless anybody else has other, experience with it, we typically just use our Facebook page. So that's where we do a lot of our advertising and things like that. But we will try to do more with just having more information available on LP's webpage that Mrs. Bello is gonna create a space for us.
Yeah, and Penny, just to kind of go off of that, so we are realizing that a lot of us use Facebook, but a lot of our families also use Instagram, right? And Twitter. And so one of the building goals is that we sort of expand our social media footprint. And so as I develop these pages and share that with families, we might be able to reach a broader audience.
Oh, good. Okay.
Right. If we start using more of these platforms. So that's the kind of nice thing about social media.
Yeah, very good. So we always like to keep our meetings to an hour or so. If there aren't any other questions.
I see Jess Krupa.
Oh, Jess just popped on?
She's waving us down. Yeah.
All right, Jess. So Jess Krupa is our Board of Education representative, so she can give us an update from her end.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I'm sorry that I'm jumping in kind of late mid-meeting. We had my daughter Ada's in 8th grade, and we had open house via Microsoft Teams. So I was jumping from one meeting to the other. But I'm Jess Krupa, as Penny said. I don't know if I'm your board rep this year. We kind of reshuffled, but I'm here. I'm representing the board tonight, and I'll be here either as a parent or as a board member most meetings. I have, like I just said, an 8th grade daughter at the middle school, and my son Zag is in Miss Weitzel's class in 5th grade. So I'm the board rep. I don't really have a ton to share tonight, as we really, the school district and the board and the teachers and staff and everybody have just been really focusing on the reopening and just working their tails off to make sure that the kids have the most amazing return to school, which I am super excited to say. I think hands down, everybody would agree with that. I had 2 kids that came home with huge smiles on their faces. Best day of school ever, best first day. Masks stink, but we knew that was coming because it's just hard. I feel like I struggle more. I'm a teacher also, so I feel like I struggle with that more than my kids do in school sometimes. So they didn't skip a beat. Nobody skipped a beat. We had a board meeting last week, and we had, some different people report out, and Ms. Grow reported out just saying how proud she was of the district and how everybody have been working so hard throughout the summer. Teachers, when we're not getting paid, to do that extra PD and all that other stuff that you guys did to make sure that you were up and running and you have all the things ready to go for the kids. Thank you again to, Mrs. Bello jumping right in and just taken over in the chaos. It was a crazy time for you to be doing that. So we appreciate all your hard work.
You're welcome.
And, you know, we're just really excited for a great school year. We have been hearing great things from all over. I mean, personally, I work in a different school district, and I, you know, said at our last meeting that I felt more, I said I felt more confident as a parent sending my kids to school in East Arundecoit than I did as a staff member in another school district, actually going and knowing what was going on. I mean, the amount of communication from everybody was amazing. Having the videos and having the slides that you had that gave the procedures, just, I hope everybody was able to utilize those and be able to really prep their kids beforehand, because it was just uncertain for the return, you know, and how it was going to be. So to be able to see what it was going to look like, and this is what you're going to do, and this is where you're going to enter the building, and this is where you're going to get your temperature scanned, and just to kind of pre-teach those things to kids, I think was a really great way to reduce some of the anxiety and some of the nerves, I know, especially, you know, in my house. So that was really, really appreciated. Every parent that I've seen or talked to has just been hands down just so happy and excited for the kids to be back in the building. And, you know, I think we will be very surprised at a lot of the great things that come out of this. I think we'll have a lot of awesome data on small class sizes, which is something that I've always been pushing for with the board. And, you know, unfortunately, John Abbott doesn't like to hear that, because he's the number cruncher, and he's the one that's like, Krupa, you see this budget that we're trying to do and the things we're trying to squeeze out. So don't, you know, that never disappears in my mind, you know, having those smaller class sizes and putting kids' needs first, you know, is really my initiative and the initiative of the board in general. So yeah, so again, I guess we had our board meeting. We did talk some numbers for the 21-22 school year, which aren't pretty to look at right now, but a lot of those numbers are dependent on our state aid, which, you know, you never know what's going to happen with that. They're saying there's some potential cuts and some other things, but, you know, I think we're really in a good spot as far as being really responsible with our money and having some things in reserves and being able to use those things wisely. We have done that. So that's the direction we're going to continue to go. And all school districts are going to be feeling the crunch in the next couple of years. So again, any decision that we make as a board is always putting the students' needs first. And so we have a tough job out of us, but we're going to do it. If you have any questions or concerns, all the board members have board email addresses that you can find right on the website. Please feel free to reach out. I might not be able to answer that question, but I can always find the person to direct you to that knows more than I do. And, you know, no question is a silly question, whether it's a little one or a big one. We want to hear from the community. We want to hear from parents and kids and staff members and the whole nine. So we're really looking forward to a great school year. And thank you again, you know, to the PTA. Thank you to any parents and teachers that are on here for making it a great start to the school year. So I look forward to seeing you guys at other meetings.
Very good. Does anybody have any final questions for anyone as we wrap up our hour of PTA? If you have any, you can speak them or chat them. If we don't, we can meeting adjourn at 7:52. Is there anybody in there? Okay, George, you're welcome. 7:52. Thank you all for joining us. Have a good night, and we'll see you next month.
Bye, guys.